This is the Kind of Culty podcast. I'm H.
And I'm Erin.
Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right. Welcome back to episode 6. Sixth one, yeah.
Okay.
We're going to label it The Adjuster. Because, well, and I'm sure you guys have all heard too, all about this Luigi Mangione guy. You know, it's funny, before we went live, I was literally asking, like, is he related to Chuck Mangione? Can he play a trumpet?
Oh my god, that'd been awesome.
I mean, it would have been...
If he had just pulled out a trumpet right at the very end of that.
Well, if he shot him and then started trumpeting.
Yeah.
Away, yeah. I think that would be pretty cool.
I think that would have been good.
Anyways, so I'm sure you guys have heard this guy. He's Luigi, the Adjuster. He is 26 years old, Ivy League graduate, and he is involved, or has been involved, and is being sentenced for the assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. So the reason why we wanted to talk about it is, first and foremost, just how much public attention it's gotten, and the amount of crazy conspiracies that have shown up because of it as well.
And the memes.
Absolutely. I mean, people are absolutely in love with this guy. They think he's a real...
Robin Hood?
He's
Robin the Hood.
Sure. My favorite conspiracy about all of this is that he might be a spy or a federal agent, or he might be a goatsy. He's a goatsy. He's a scapegoat, right?
Oh, right. I'm like, the greatest of all
He's
time.
Patsy. I don't know. We'll see. This shit is still unfolding in real time. So let's start with December 4th of 2024. So Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare, fatally shot in Midtown Manhattan. And we all saw the footage. And if you haven't seen the footage, go watch the footage, because this dude did it in cold blood.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it was very calculated.
It felt very calculated. It felt like he knew exactly what he was doing.
Not to mention the time. It was on the street in New York.
Yeah.
Early morning.
It was early morning. I mean...
Was it even 7 yet?
I don't think so. Well, they had a meeting. They had a big presentation at like 8 o'clock, right?
Okay, sure.
And this guy was heading there like 45 minutes early. So, yeah, it was like
just... Yeah, so had time to prep and everything.
It was like right before 7 or right after 7 that this all went down.
Which, okay, like, that makes me think, like, you have intimate knowledge of this individual schedule.
Yeah.
But the thing that I can't get past, and stop me if you're not ready to go there yet, but those motherfuckers stepped over his bloodstain to start the meeting on time.
Yeah, they did. They had an agenda. They're like, we still have to go make money, guys. We still have to give this presentation. There's no...
Not like there was a horrific murder right in front of your building.
Right. All they could think of was like, well, we spent all of this money and all this time to get this prepared. Like, the show must go on.
We have hookers waiting back in our hotel room.
Probably, right? They're like, and they're already been paid for.
Yeah. So let's get this going.
Yeah. Oh my God. But what kills me, so like, he was described as a hooded figure, and everybody was talking about how he used a 3D printed ghost gun with a silencer for this execution, because that's basically what it was. It was an execution. Now,
yeah,
the 3D printed part, I can appreciate how accessible it is for people to 3D print this stuff. I mean, you can find files for these guns all over the place.
Sure.
And everybody's spreading them, so it's easy to find. It's accessible. My first question is, what kind of filament did you use? You know, was it ABS, right? Like, did you use like a higher... I just don't know enough about it to even ask the right questions, right?
You clearly know more than me.
So, because all I could think of was like, if you're using live rounds, that thing's going to blow apart. And again, I've never 3D printed a gun, so I have no idea, right? I've never
3D printed anything.
Yeah. So anyways, the theory that I like is that he was using an old spy gun.
I love that.
I love that too, because that just gives it just more grandeur.
It's just more fun.
It's way more fun. So the whole idea, like the reason why this came about is when you're watching the footage, you can see that after every shot, he has to rechamber it, right? He has
Right.
to manually do it. And everyone's saying, "Oh, it's a 3D printed gun that's misfiring." It's like, no,
They're designed for that.
This was designed for that, and that's why I think it was a spy gun, because these spy guns, first of all, they're very difficult to find. I mean, on top of the amount of paperwork that you have to submit in order to even get one, to like try to buy one, on top of all of the paperwork that you have to submit to get a silencer, right?
Sure.
Which leads me down that path of like, well, this dude clearly knew people. This dude might be a Fed. This dude might be a spy, because how do you get a hold of those guns? There's not a lot of them out there for a reason, because they're all stored one place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, that gun's designed to be quiet. It's designed to make sure that the gases get trapped, which adds to the quietness, right?
Right.
So anyways, it's designed to, you have to manually do it. So I don't know. I love that idea.
I
think
love
it's
that.
more fun.
That
Adds to the vigilante part. But then if you think about it, right, it's like, so why is he going after Brian Thompson? Yeah,
Right.
and was that shooter actually Luigi, right? Because if you look at the two pictures,
I can't get past the eyebrows.
it's the eyebrows. One guy's got a unibrow, the other guy does not.
Yeah. And you know what? Any girl knows that if you pluck too much, it takes a minute for that shit to grow back.
Yeah, no,
It doesn't grow
what's
back
that
in a
whole
week.
thing? If the brows don't fit, you must acquit.
Yeah.
I,
And if
I
they don't
think
use
it's true.
that, it's going to piss me off.
Oh my god! But it's like I honestly feel like they do have the wrong guy. I don't think Luigi did it.
I think he's a scapegoat.
I think he's a scapegoat. He's a patsy. He's the one that's gonna do the time, or he's the one that has to get the public face, right? While the other guy got away with it,
Yeah.
right? And it was
I
probably
think the
gearing
real
up for his
adjuster
next
is
mission, right?
still out.
I mean, for the amount of private militaries that exist and mercenaries that exist, if you have a big enough checkbook,
It's Merc with no mouth.
with no mouth, he's the merc with no mouth.
He got no mouth.
Said no words, right?
He just pop, pop, pop.
But yeah. So, anyways, with this guy, I guess the next big thing that happened. Well, let's talk about this a little bit more though, because he got away on foot.
Yeah.
So, and then he got onto an e-bike and went up to Central Park,
Yeah.
where apparently he unloaded the backpack. That kind of just went away. Everyone stopped talking about that part where they found a backpack
Which,
there.
I'm sorry, also the backpacks don't match.
And the backpacks don't match.
They are not the same color or the same exact style. They are very
jackets don't
similar.
match.
The jackets don't match.
I mean, the only thing that's fishy
Even
is
his mask.
none of it matches. It's all different gear because it's different people. And I know that's easy to be like, oh, well, he had that gear. But it's like,
Explain the eyebrows then.
explain
How
the
did he grow
eyebrows.
his eyebrows back in a week?
Yeah, no, and they have the brow of their nose is much different. It's not the same, and we still don't have an actual picture of the shooter. We don't.
Which I wanted to bring up the picture that they say is the shooter at the hostel, or is it the coffee shop?
No, it was the hostel. That's where they got. Well, it was both because they have footage, or apparently there was two pictures taken.
But there's one where like he's not wearing a mask at all, and I'm sorry, that is a woman.
that one was at the hostel because
That is a woman.
You think so?
I'll die on that hill as
I,
well.
I do think that
I
one
die
is
on a lot of
Luigi.
hills.
I do think that one is Luigi. I think he was at that hostel, which is why I'm
I
like,
don't think
why
the
did you
smiles
check
match.
in with a fake ID? Like, you're working with the feds too, bud. Like, you have to be.
I think we've seen images of 3 different people. That's
There's
my theory.
multiple people involved here. I think that is for sure.
Yeah.
There's just no way
I
around
think there
it.
was the shooter, Luigi, and then there was another person.
Probably another Luigi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
another,
to
another
create
fall
confusion.
guy. Like, right?
They were told the uniform of what to wear. And that's why it's very similar. And that's why you can like kind of be like, no, it's the same. It's different lighting, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It's different people. And that one is a woman.
One thing that I heard too about possible motivations from Luigi if you believe that he actually did it, was that his family runs a bunch of elder care facilities
Oh,
out
yeah.
in the East Coast. And so, like, they're involved, but they're all privately owned.
Yeah. I
And
mean, this gives a doorway for him having motivation.
right, and that's
Yes.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yes,
So
I agree.
I read once. I haven't seen any follow ups to this since, but that United Healthcare was in the process of taking over, or at least
Yeah, I bought him out.
yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah.
And he was so that does fit that he would be motivated by, like, you just ruined my family's legacy. But it's like, did they though? Like, I get it,
Well,
right?
there's that, and then there's the back issues.
Right, and then that
But it
was what
sounds
the
like
mainstream
he-
media went with, was his back issues being his motivation. And I'll be real, if it's on the mainstream news, I
I don't
have
buy
a
it.
hard time buying
Plus,
it.
it
Yeah.
sounds like his family is wealthy enough that that's not motivation enough.
Right. He doesn't need the money.
He doesn't need the money.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, the supposed backpack was like a $300 backpack to
Yeah.
begin with.
yeah.
I called bullshit. It doesn't add up.
And did you hear how the CEO of that bag company apparently?
Ratted him out,
Well, that's what the internet was saying. But
and now he's like,
no, he made an official statement saying, yes, we do know because of the serial numbers where each bag was purchased. We do
Yes.
know that information. And he said, no, I did not give that information over to any authorities.
Yeah.
So I
Because
don't
you
know.
need it. It needs to be subpoenaed. You need to have like
right, a warrant.
you need a warrant for that information.
Yeah.
No one's going to go, well, here's all of these people's private information
Right, exactly.
with credit cards and names and stuff. Like, no.
Like, and you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like, why would? Anyways, so.
But
it's,
he's like, yeah, if you want to subpoena me or, get a warrant, I'm not going to fight it.
boom, and that's just how the game
As
works.
any company owner would be. Like, yeah, if you're going to show up at my doorstep with a warrant, I'll be like, yeah, here you go.
The one thing, though, the timing of that was pretty on point in regards to all these CEOs starting to be afraid.
Fucking Elon Musk with his head,
Oh
his
my
kid.
god, dude! Elon with this kid, using his kid as a human shield. What are you doing, you scared piece of shit? Like, oh my god! And he's in
Which-
charge of America, and I'm recording this. Whatever, dude. We're moving towards a direction.
Okay, we're walking. We're scaling back from the Elon.
Ugh. Anyways, you guys all know what we're talking about. So yeah. Anyways, the whole thing is just fishy.
Yeah,
It's fishy. There's a lot of holes in it. There's a lot. I mean, oh my god, dude, I don't even know. So basically, what happened was, after all of that chaos, like he did the thing, he got away with it, whoever it was.
I think my favorite theory is it was Anne Hathaway.
I love that.
That
I
was
haven't
my
heard
favorite.
that, but
Oh, you
that,
haven't? That goes along with the whole "that's a woman."
I mean, it doesn't.
It
look
looks like
anything
Anne Hathaway.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Well, it could.
It's
Hey,
the
if
teeth.
she wants to go rogue, that's on her.
It's
you know?
the teeth and the cheekbone.
Was she wearing Prada?
No, because only the devil wears Prada.
Huzzah.
I bet he was.
I mean, he might have been. You know.
Yeah.
He might have been.
The target's in Prada.
He's got like a Prada belt on or some bullshit. You know.
You'll know your target by.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, sorry. I'm
No,
done.
you're good. You're good. So December 9th, so 5 days later, McJustice was served with a side of fries.
Douche.
And Mangione was arrested at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Tuna.
And he was found with a gun, fake IDs, and a manifesto expressing his disdain for the parasitic health insurance companies. He clearly took Happy Meal to a whole new level, right?
Hey, it's still really hard to even consider stopping at a McDonald's. Like sometimes I want fries. I can't do it now.
You know, I don't know.
I know you're not, but
Yeah, I haven't eaten McDonald's in long fucking time.
I have my
Almost 2
vices, and
decades.
sometimes I like the fries and an egg McMuffin. But now, thanks a lot, narcs.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, is because there was a worker there that called 911 and reported him. But
Which
then there was also
supposedly-
somebody else there, like a patron, a customer.
Yeah, supposedly a customer or someone else in there was like, hey, that's the dude, and told the cashier, and the cashier called. But they called
Right.
911, not the tip line.
Not the tip line, and so enough has come out that we know about how the tip line actually works, where even if you are the person that tips him off, they first of all, they have to catch the guy.
Yeah.
Then second, they have to
Prove it.
they have to be sentenced.
Oh, right.
If they're not sentenced, then you don't qualify for the reward money. So even after sentencing, they have to elect somebody to get the reward money. So there has to be a vote.
Yeah.
And I guess the statistics were talking about how even if you do get through all of that, you might only get like 60% at the most of the reward.
At the most. Generally, it's not even that.
30%. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you'll still get something, but it's not the full reward. And let's be
But,
real, guys.
but because they called 911, they don't get it, period.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, the whole thing is.
And
just
they
a
got
joke.
fired.
Yeah, and they got fired. They got fired. Which I think they were going to try to sue that McDonald's over that or something, because now they're getting all this like hate. And,
Well, I think that's
defamation and whatever. Like,
wasn't that why McDonald's fired them? Was because of all the like bad Yelp reviews they were getting?
oh right, yeah, because it wasn't Yelp, it was on their Google review or whatever.
Google review.
Or something. But yeah, they started posting like 1-star reviews.
And they
Saying
have
there's
rats.
in the kitchen. Yeah, exactly. I love that. I think that's the shit. Yeah.
It was the one moment where, like, since 9/11, we as a country came together.
We came together. There
It
was
felt
true
so
unity.
good
It
on
felt
both
good.
sides.
Couldn't you just feel how crisp the air was?
Yeah, it wasn't anyone you talked to where it was like we had different variations, but ultimately we all agreed.
Yeah, we all agreed. Like,
Bring more of that back.
not against what just happened there. Like,
Yeah.
you know what? They should be scared. They've been fucking us forever.
Well, and how many people aren't being like they're being disqualified, saying that they don't qualify for this life-saving treatment?
That part,
So,
right?
Yeah, I'm not condoning murder, but
It's
yeah,
an oxymoron for it to
he
be
was
called
killing
healthcare.
hundreds of thousands of people on the daily. Like
Well,
that
that's the
was
thing,
his job.
Just by denying coverage.
Just denying
Right,
coverage.
Exactly.
So I'm like, it's not even
No.
Sophie's choice here.
Jesus Christ. but still, though, it's like there. I want to know what happens to people's brains when they get to that point where they're making so much money that they can't spend it in their lifetime.
Right?
Like, what goes through your brain? Is it just like, do you go dragon mode and go, I have to hoard more gold, I have to sit on my
100%.
pile, and you can, everybody just fucks off at that point. Like, what is that? Why is that a thing, and why is it so consistent with all these sons of bitches, right?
Right? It's not the same, but that reminds me of was it Beyonce's brother had a girlfriend, they had a kid together and they broke up and they were like almost homeless, and Beyonce ignored her phone calls asking for help.
Oh,
Now we know Beyonce has money.
fuck yeah, she does.
Yeah.
She's got fuck off money.
She has fuck off money.
Yeah.
And
I'm pretty sure her and Jay-Z are billionaires.
I think they are too.
Yeah, I think
'cause
he's
of all
a
the shit.
billionaire on his own, and she's like right behind him. Yeah.
Yeah. So you couldn't help someone get an apartment and a car? Fuck you.
Yeah, dude.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that part, right? I mean,
At least do it for your niece or nephew.
I mean, I
you don't have to
understand
like
where they're
her.
like, well, if I do it for them, I have to do it for everyone. It's like, well, if you can afford it,
Yeah. Then you should.
but then that's socialism.
With great power comes great responsibility.
People don't want socialism. They don't want to share. They don't want to share. They
I
wanna
think it'd be
dragoons
so
and they
cool
wanna
to do that
hoard.
to someone and just not have it affect you at all.
I wish I could. I mean, and that's one thing, like, about like Mr. Beast or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
whatever.
But
Dude,
he's still a piece of shit.
yeah. There's
that
so
guy.
many things. Like, you can't make that kind of money without blood on your hands, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like he gives people an assload of money. Now he makes them like beg for it, like rats, you know.
Yeah.
You know, there's no
he holds it
humanity
up and
there.
is like, jump higher.
Ugh.
Maybe you should jump a little bit higher.
But
Whereas I
yeah,
would
there
just
shouldn't
like
be a qualifier like that,
no,
right? Just
like
fucking
if you
hook
if
people
you
up.
knew that a family down the street was struggling for groceries, we just buy groceries and not even like let them know, just have DoorDash drop it off.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in a position
Like
where you
Instacart
can do
and just,
something like that,
yeah.
why not? I fully agree with that, right?
Like, and just surprise them. And I would love to do that and stay anonymous.
Yeah, right? I
Like,
mean, that's
not
where Secret
because-
Santa comes from, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
Like,
It's
because there's a way of doing it. Like, I don't need people to know that I'm doing this. But I would love to do that and just make someone's day a little bit easier.
1000%, right?
So, fuck the billionaires.
Fuck them all, dude. Fuck them in their gotas. Because I'm telling you, like, there's no way that you could be a billionaire and not have blood on your hands. Somebody's blood
You're
is
standing
on
on
your hands.
people's backs.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, and I wish that there was a better way to get to that kind of wealth with integrity.
Yeah.
But the more and more I'm looking at it,
truthfully,
it's like these people, like,
You
they're
can't get
taking
there
it.
and have integrity.
They're taking it, yeah.
Because
they're not earning
people
it.
with integrity don't get that far.
No, people with empathy don't get that far.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And that's, I mean, there's something to be said about, sociopaths.
Yeah.
And how, I've talked to you about this in the past, how there's a spectrum on that sociopath spectrum where, I mean, there's no empathy no matter what. It doesn't
for
exist
sure.
on the spectrum. But one side of the spectrum is like high functioning, like corporate types, like successful people that like
And then-
get shit done because
Yeah.
they're just like, they don't give a fuck. They just go.
Yeah.
And then the negative side of that spectrum is,
Serial killers.
serial killers. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
there's no empathy, but they're driven. They're so driven.
I think you see a lot of surgeons in that.
Oh my God! Yeah, surgeons are on
realm
that
as
spectrum.
well.
They're on that spectrum, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Like,
wild.
No
right?
offense, but there's a lot of
No, it takes
people
certain
in the medical
type of
field
person, yeah.
that are horrible, and they're in it to torture. They're not always there to help people. It's gross.
It is gross. Anyways, enough billionaire talk.
Sorry.
No, well, clearly
I
it's
felt
on
like
our minds.
I felt like it fit.
It does fit. I mean, considering this story it's a precursor to class war, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. So we now December 10th, the next day, he gets extradited. So Mangione appears in Blair County Courthouse in Pennsylvania for his extradition hearing, and his lawyer Tom Dickey announces a not guilty plea. Now, have you seen Tom Dickey?
I've seen clips of him, yeah.
Like everybody's like relating him to my cousin Vinny. Like
He totally is.
the guy, yeah. I mean, he's entertaining to watch. I'd like to know. I'd like to know how good he is.
Oh my God,
Did
I
his
would
family
love
pay
it.
for this lawyer?
I
right?
would love it if that dude showed up with a leather jacket on in courtroom.
Oh my god, how sick would that be, right? But it fits.
You're like, my suit got ruined
I mean,
in the mud.
golly. But yeah, he's a character for sure. But yeah, so they announced the not guilty plea. So basically what they're trying to do is just, I mean, basically what he said is like, there's no proof. You got no evidence. You don't even have a clear picture of the actual shooter.
Brows don't match.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the most obvious thing.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys. If
But is
you're
he
gonna
just saving
sell us
that?
this,
I feel like he's just keeping that one in his back pocket.
oh, dude, I want to know what he's got in his back pocket. I want to know what's actually going on.
Like,
what
I
real
want,
information
I don't
is
want
found.
him to mention it once until his closing statement.
Right.
That's how he closes his closing
you
statement.
got to sell the jury. They got to
Yeah.
make sure that there's, whatever the whatever parameters they're working within, whatever they have to prove, right?
Right.
But yeah, so Mangione, he was extradited to New York on December 17th, so a week later, and he's charged with first-degree murder and terrorism.
Yeah.
And
I disagree with that one.
You know why?
Oh, I know
tagged
why.
the terrorism charge on there?
Yeah, because of everyone talking about
Cheering
it
him
and
on.
cheering him on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I
That's not terrorism.
It's not terrorism. And I'll be real. Again, I still have this gnawing feeling that someone else was the shooter. Mm-hmm. And this whole thing is a spectacle.
It is. It's to distract.
It's a just boom. It is. Because everything's a distraction.
Yep.
I mean, it kills me. Anyway, so a few days later, Mangione faces additional charges, bringing the total to 20 counts across federal and state courts. So that's kind of wild. 20 counts. Like, I don't know. Like, what are I want to know exactly what they're getting him for, and I'm sure if
It'll all
it
come
hasn't
out.
been released, it will be.
Yeah.
So
I'm waiting for that Netflix documentary.
it's gonna be good, right?
It's gonna be so good.
But again, that's the thing. It's like I want to know that it's gonna be years before we actually know what really went down,
Yeah.
unless Luigi just spills his guts and is like, "Okay, here's
You
the
want to
deal.
know?
I
Put
got
me
a
on the
phone
stand.
call."
Put me on the stand, Doc.
Like, I'm throwing the feds under the bus, right?
Yeah.
So
I
on
love
January 1st, Mangione, he's in solitary confinement for the new year, right? He's spending that time alone, and that's at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. So his choices are pretty minimal at this point. It's basically shower or workout, right?
Jesus.
But yeah, it's kind of a wild place to be, considering he is,
He's there with Diddy.
he's in the same prison as Diddy right now. Yeah.
I-
And it's the same prison as Epstein.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the whole thing with his...
Luigi did not kill himself.
No. He hasn't yet, at least.
No, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, right?
I think my favorite is the reporter that was standing outside the prison and the prisoners are screaming at him about his living conditions.
How wild was that?
Yeah.
Like, those guys are
Oh
over
my
there
God, you know what it
screaming,
is?
"Free Mangione," or "Free Luigi," but like the reporter was talking to the guy that was on site, and they were asking the questions, right?
Yeah.
And it was wild that they were communicating to the prison that way.
It was really interesting. You know what it reminds me of? In Shameless, when Ian goes in,
Kind of, right?
he's like, I have work to do still.
But I mean, and then the haircut.
And then the haircuts.
And then his haircut, like the whole thing with like, well, first of all,
Well, you're thinking of Carl.
no, I'm thinking of Luigi Mangione.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were still on Shameless.
No, I'm talking about the haircut that they gave him before he went in to General Pop or whatever the fuck.
I don't
'Cause
think
he's
I've
still in
seen...
solitary, whatever. But he got that. What was it? Anyways, he got some type of fade that lets the guards know, don't fuck with this guy because we've got his back.
Oh, that's amazing. I
So
didn't know about this.
He rolled him there like clean cut with a specific type of haircut that states, "Hey, guards, don't fuck with this guy or we're gonna fuck with you. Like, it'll be a riot."
Oh, fucking A. I'm here for it.
Right? So I love that. That's a nice little cherry on top. But what kills me is like when they landed and they were walking him.
Oh, the perp walk?
The perp walk.
Oh my God. And the mayor of New
How
York?
many fucking people did they need for that? Jesus
Right?
Christ, man.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, you're acting like this dude is the Unabomber.
Like,
this is Timothy
mega.
McVeigh.
It's because they tagged the terrorism charge.
Yeah.
They had to make it into it. And then you guys made it into
And
the
he's
deal.
like half the size of all of them.
Oh my God. Like, right?
He's this scrawny little dude.
But it's the whole idea of like, well, this is because you're trying to start a class war. It's like you guys are propping him up to be that.
Yeah.
You're propping him up. You're telling that narrative.
Like, you doing that, like, solidified all the ones where it's like St. Luigi with the halo and shit.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
But that's what.
This
But you're
is the
helping
kind of
that
culture
narrative.
you're helping the narrative.
I'm
So
Like,
what is actually happening here?
Please
Why
sit
not just
back,
treat it
relax,
like
and enjoy
you
the
just picked
show.
up someone for a traffic violation?
It should be like that until he's had his trial. He's innocent until
Yeah.
proven guilty. Right?
You do
Isn't that how
that-
that shit works?
After he's been convicted and you're moving him from one prison to another. That's when you do that perp walk. You know? But it's
just
like,
so
no.
dumb. It's so dumb.
I love how they're like, yeah, like he's creating this class war and all this stuff. And it's like, you're making him the poster child for it.
But that's right. They're positioning him to be like a Christ-like character for some revolution that I don't know if they want to stoke it, because it's like, do you want a civil war or do you want a class revolution?
Yeah.
Because I think they want that civil war, but then they realize like, oh shit, actually
Maybe not.
maybe that's actually what's brewing more is this class war, because Bernie hit it on the head when he was running. He's like, you guys need to be able to like, it's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That first level of preservation.
Yeah.
You need food, air, water, shelter, clothes. And as long as you have those basic needs, right?
Everything else is a bonus.
Everything else is a bonus, because then you're not stressed. You're not
Yeah.
worried about all these things that could lead to you being homeless or unclothed or
Yeah.
malnutrition, right?
Well, and I
You
think
take those worries off the table, and the people have better mindsets. They
Yep.
achieve things. They get goals done.
I think if people weren't so stressed about those basic needs, guess what? Road rage would drop. And
Right.
just deaths and aggravation and citations from that would drop.
There's
and
a whole
people can
effect.
be automatically a more well-rounded, happy citizen that can now contribute to society.
Boom.
Like, assholes, you're looking at this all wrong.
Right. You are, because exactly. And Bernie was hitting on that. He's
Yeah.
like, we got to make
'Cause
sure
Bernie's our man.
We got to cover that preservation. As long as we cover that, people are going to be happier, healthier, way better off. And
Yep.
you know what? Considering like what capitalism is it's a system of siphoning the money from the poor up to the top, right?
Yeah.
But what happens when the poor run out of money? What happens when that human resource dries up? What happens?
They haven't thought about that.
Well, I mean, there's a couple options that happen,
Yeah.
and it comes with
A lot of death.
a lot of death, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that's what capitalism does. Is it has no emotion. It is that sociopath.
Well, and there's no cycling. It's just gone.
You could fix it by cycling some of that money back, and you know how you can do that? Through
Paying?
taxes, paying
Paying
fucking
people?
taxes, yeah, or
Yeah.
paying your bills in general, and not.
Yeah.
Anyways, fuck, dude, oh, I'm so mad, so mad. So apparently, January 2nd, there was a documentary debut. Did you hear about that?
Oh, no, I didn't.
So the New York Post released.
I was very sick, though.
Fair. But yeah, the New York Post released a documentary titled Luigi Mangione, Monster or Martyr. And it's on Tubi. That's why we didn't hear about
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently that explores the manhunt and the debates surrounding Mangione. So maybe that's something we should check out.
We should. We were too busy being sick and lazy and watching Chimp Crazy.
Oh my God.
We should talk about that next time.
Chimp Crazy is,
Crazy?
it's insane.
It's so good. Go
Yeah.
watch it.
No, yeah, we'll do a whole piece on Chimp Crazy next time.
Hell yeah.
Because I mean that leads into Tiger King. It's the same people too.
Yes, same, yeah.
Director.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. The people that made it, not like the people that worked at these places, these so-called sanctuaries. Holy shit.
Holy shit,
Yeah,
though.
Chimp Crazy. All I can think of is like, I feel so bad for these chimpanzees, and at the
It's
same
so
time,
sad.
like, do not fuck with them. Do not fuck with them.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with chimps. They will kill you.
They will.
They will fuck
They
you
will
up.
fuck your day up.
Oh my God. But it's kind of like how, like, if you have a dog that's just not like socialized and they
Yeah.
bark at everybody that comes to the door or whatever, right? It's the same thing. It's like, this is my person. I'm protecting them. Don't fuck with my person.
Yeah.
You know? And it's really, that was the motivation behind all of it. You
Yeah.
know? Besides, obviously, anyways,
Anyways, we'll go
talk
there
about
next
that
time.
there. Yeah, let's save that. But yeah, so apparently there's a documentary on Tubi, so that's kind of cool. So look into that, guys. That's something to think about. So January 18th, courtroom cameo. So Mangione is scheduled for a federal court appearance on the 18th. Today's only the 12th, right? And the idea is, will he plead guilty? What do you think? Do you think he will?
No, he'll plead innocence.
I think he will. I think we're going to see a lot of
I think we're going to see
crazy information coming out.
an insane show, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
I mean, this is going to be one of those trials of the century, I think.
I think so too.
It's because the potential that it has, in my mind, because again, if he is a patsy, if someone else actually did it, and if any of that is uncovered in court,
Yeah.
it's going to make a lot of it. I mean, it's going to make
This is
some
gonna be
people
so much
mad. This could lead to some bigger things, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's just going to be an open and shut, this is what it is. I think
No.
they're going to fight this tooth and nail,
As they should.
as they should.
Yeah.
It's going to be really fucking good. But he got a new lawyer, didn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a woman now.
I
Whatever.
assumed he was getting a team. You're not going to have one lawyer for this.
It does make sense that he would end up getting a team, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, but still though, like, let's see. Yeah, I mean, looking at some of this stuff, so yeah, the silencer, all this stuff's is gonna add more to the charges, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is crazy. Okay. Here's one thing we can talk about that we didn't touch on. So the 286 conspiracy theory. Do you know what that is?
I don't think so.
So the 286 conspiracy theory, it comes from, that's like the code for a claim denial.
Right. Yes. Yeah. No, I did. I know of it.
Right. And then apparently on his X, his Twitter or whatever, his picture panel, one of them was a Pokemon, and that Pokemon was number 286.
Yeah. I saw
right?
that.
So anyways, that has led people down a fucking crazy path of it's a fun conspiracy. I don't know, right? But let's see if I can find a little bit and give you so the 286 conspiracy theory centers on alleged connections between Luigi Mangione, a suspect of a murder trial, or the murder of Brian Thompson, and the number 286. Internet sleuths have highlighted several coincidences. Mangione's social media banner featured Pokemon Breloom, number 286. His X account reportedly had 286 posts.
Yeah.
He was arrested 286 miles from the crime scene. The number also corresponds with the healthcare denial code and aligns with a Bible verse, Proverbs 28:6, whatever, critiquing the corrupt rich. While some believe these links are deliberate and symbolic, others dismiss them as coincidence and an overanalyzed internet speculation.
Nah. I
mean, when I first heard that, I was like, feels like a stretch for sure.
It's a stretch, but it's also like, how does that work?
How does that? Yeah.
Well, especially when it comes down to where he was arrested.
That feels deliberate if that's the case.
That feels very deliberate to me.
Right? The amount of Twitter posts, he capped it at 286.
I mean, and that's the one where I'm like, I could let that one go.
But it does feel like a staging for a certain narrative.
But then who thought of looking at the code and went, gee, I wonder if it corresponds with anything in the Bible, and it just happens to align?
Yeah, that part, I think you can make a lot of things align with the Bible if you want them to.
If you wanted to.
I mean...
But I'm sorry, I don't look at a code and look at that shit, but I don't even own a Bible, so,
Fair. There's not a Bible in this house.
And there never will be. We're not Bible people. We do not believe in that kind of good book.
Yeah, not that good book. It's that book's for everyone else. I mean, one day I might read it just for the shits and giggles, because apparently it is one of the most magical books that exists. But here's the deal: you have to read it like it's allegory, like it's a big story explaining everything. And I'm just not ready for those mental gymnastics right now.
I love the 10 Commandments. I think that's a great movie.
It is a great movie, yeah.
It is a great fucking story. I don't care if you believe in it or not. That is a great story.
God, what was that from where they're talking about, like, why do you think he took his shoes off before he went to the bush? It's like, because the bush was on fire. It wasn't because it was holy ground. It's because he was going to burn his sandals off.
Word. No, his feet were cold. The bush was on fire. He was trying to warm his toes up. He had cold piggies.
No, but I
cold piggies.
I think that shit's hilarious. So another one here. So there's a brief here. Let's see if this gives us any new information. But Luigi Mangione remained jailed without bail. Wednesday in Pennsylvania, where he was arrested initially charged with gun and forgery offenses. Manhattan prosecutors were working to bring him to New York to face a murder charge in the death of Brian Thompson. Mangione was arrested in Altoona, 230 miles west of New York City. So they're like, no, guys, don't use that number.
It's not the same.
It's not right. After McDonald's customer recognized him and notified an employee. So the social media reaction to Mangione's arrest. If you think that all of these are the same person, you might be stupid. One person shared on TikTok. The NYPD must be thinking, let's just pin this on this guy and hope the public believes us. Which,
yeah,
I mean, it feels kind of orchestrated.
it does.
Let's see here. I do believe that this is a hard hit. I don't know what kind of story they're putting on. Well, hold on. Let me start over. I do believe this is a hard hit. I don't know what kind of story that they're putting out on it. I can't believe anything that they're saying. Another guy.
The truth.
It's
I can't
hard to
believe
believe
anything
anything.
they're saying.
Right?
That's why this is really fun to create speculation.
Yeah, the
This
speculation's
is a really
super
fun speculation story.
It is. It is, because there's so much.
There's so much,
It could
and
be
there's
so big. Yeah.
they're saying all this other stuff, and it's like that. None of that fits either. So your version's bullshit. Ours is better.
And I agree. Ours is better.
It's like we haven't had good speculation since Game of Thrones.
No, this is like the best reality TV, right?
It really is.
I mean, yeah, it's really good reality TV.
Yeah.
I'd watch more of this.
We're gonna.
And here's the deal. Have you ever seen The Running Man?
The Running Man.
Yeah.
I instantly went to Logan's Run, but
Sure. But this was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
oh yeah.
Post-apocalyptic.
I do
where
remember that.
They put people through a death run, basically.
Yeah.
And if you survive, then you get money.
Fuck that shit.
They
I
have
ain't running.
The gladiators are basically just trying to kill. These people came from like prisons and stuff, so they're like, "Hey, we'll put you on this game show." But
Yeah, I do
people
remember.
love it. I mean, it's like, think about the gladiators back in the day.
You know, this is also feeling a lot like Squid Game.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Try not to die. You'll get money.
yeah. Right? I don't know, but in regards to, I was just trying to allude to the fact that the people are eating this up, and they would
Yeah.
love to see more of it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Sorry.
No, you're good. Another guy said, now you're telling me if they find him in Pennsylvania in a McDonald's lobby with all the evidence on him, he didn't get rid of the gun, his silencer, his fake IDs, and he's got his manifesto just in his pocket. Come on, man.
Right? That's, yeah. I
It's,
100% agree with that one.
right?
Because, yeah, it's like, why would he have everything? Especially where he supposedly did a dump in Central Park.
Right. Exactly.
Like, which one is it? He
No,
has
there's
everything
been
on him,
mixed
or he
stories.
dumped it.
It's driving me nuts.
So which backpack is the real one? Is it the Central Park one that everyone's forgetting about and dismissing now? Or is it the one that was on him?
Right. I mean, exactly.
Like, come
Exactly.
on. How dumb do you think we are?
I think they think we're idiots.
I agree. Look, not all of us are MAGA.
Oh, my God. Ugh.
We're not all flat earthers over here.
Right? I mean, come on. Come on now. Come on. It's just basic fucking physics. It's regular old Newtonian physics that can prove to you that the Earth is round. So go.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's shit that elementary children understand.
See, that's the part that I don't get, right? I'm like, I remember learning this in class using like light and balls, and it all made
a
perfect
flashlight
sense.
and a ball.
Yeah,
or like one of those
exactly.
lamps that's like
Yeah.
from the Pixar lamp.
Straight up, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and yeah, they explained, eclipses and all this stuff.
Yeah, like
I'm
come
like,
on.
I thought everybody learned this. Like, there's a willful ignorance.
I was fucking
happening.
homeschooled and I learned that shit.
Oh my God.
I also remember being in cartoons.
Yeah, I mean, a lot. I feel like
Pinky
a lot
in the
of,
brain, goddammit.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of like the Looney Tunes stuff. I
Yeah.
felt like leaned into weirdly educational stuff.
Yeah,
Disney
like
never really did that.
They just kind of like sprinkle. Maybe that's it. You can't trust a Disney girl. Like adult Disney people. What are they called?
Disney adults.
Yeah, Disney adults.
Yeah.
Duh.
Adult Disney people. Well, I mean,
Like, how do you know classical music? Is it boring to you, or do you think of Bugs Bunny?
right.
If they are like classical music is boring, can't trust them.
That's a good point.
This is my new way of judging people.
Like, who's your favorite classical artist? Boring.
It's boring. Okay. Yeah. People that don't like Fantasia, you gotta start questioning them.
That's a good point.
I mean, I understand not everyone's cup of tea, but if they haven't gotten stoned and watched Fantasia, can't trust them.
What are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing?
What are you doing with your life? With your adult money?
Exactly, right? With your adult money.
Sorry.
So, some possible outcomes for Mr. Mangione. So, one person said a real possibility here is jury nullification, where jurors find a defendant not guilty, even if they believe that they have committed the crime based on their own sense of morality and feelings of social issues that they want addressed.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's a real possibility if people really do think that Mangione didn't do this, right? Let's see here. My mom was dropped from her health insurance while waiting for a lung transplant, one man shared on social media. Yeah, just raise the prices again. What are those idiots going to do? You know, on second thought, right, exactly. So, I don't know. It's interesting. Someone just lost a child, a husband, a father. All I'm seeing on social media is that people are being happy about it. I am so confused. Can someone please explain this to me?
Yes, he's allowed many people to live in like extreme pain where there is no quality of life, or they have died because they couldn't get the necessary medications. It's like I saw someone that was a diabetic. They could no longer afford their insulin, so they started rationing it. They were dead within a month.
That's really scary.
That is the truth of it. That is what that motherfucker was doing, and that's why no one feels bad for him.
Right. I mean, that's the thing.
He never knew what it meant to be scared of, I need a lung or like dialysis.
Right.
There's so many people that just need to go to dialysis because they're waiting for a kidney transplant. Yeah. Right? It's kidney.
It's kidney.
Yeah, thank you. But, and you know what? Those are people that are struggling to pay rent and buy groceries. And then after dialysis, when they're exhausted and worn out, they have to go to work.
Yep. They still have to be a normal person.
And
get out there and do it.
Now there's multiple millionaires and billionaires getting rich off of that individual's pain and suffering.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's not just one thing. It is a snowball effect, and that's why no one gives a shit about the billionaire that was allowing people to die. They got shot in cold blood on a street.
I mean, that's basically, it's cause and effect, right?
Yep.
What is it? The guy from...
Just because it was a rich kid that did it, who gives a fuck?
I mean, that part alone. But it's like, the bill always comes due, right?
Yeah.
Like, karma is going to get you. You can't outrun the wheel of karma. Now, this is interesting. So, in a 2023 Gallup poll, 57% of Americans said that they believe the federal government should provide health care coverage for all people in the U.S. It's more than half the people in that poll. So, that should tell you something.
Yeah. And the other half are people that aren't struggling that got pulled. Those are people that think that wanting to send your kid to school and have them get free lunch are a drain on the system. That's what those people are. I'm sorry, but if I have someone's kid, I'm not asking you to pay for him to have a snack at my house for a little play date.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And that's what our taxes are for.
Right. No, it's, yeah. And, yeah.
Snowballs.
Snowballs. Lots of snowballs.
Lots of snowballs
for everybody.
here.
For everybody. Let's see. A couple more things on the conspiracy stuff. One of the earliest of these conspiracy theories was about his distinctive eyebrows, which we touched on.
Yeah.
Which were one of the main ways in which he was identified by that customer at the McDonald's in Altoona.
So they didn't actually look at him, and they just said, that guy.
Yeah, right? So they're like, big bushy eyebrows, that guy. Look at the nose.
Look at the nose.
Let's see here. Yeah, so online sleuths have been comparing the images of the suspected shooter released by police prior to his arrest and Mangione's mugshots, and have come to the conclusion, based purely on eyebrow examination, that these are not the same person. And I fully agree with that.
Yeah, it's not.
1,000% agree with that. On Reddit, there is a dedicated Luigi Mangione subreddit with 21,000 followers. One user took the time to Photoshop Luigi Mangione's eyebrows onto the the CEO shooter to prove their point that this is not the same person. So they're like, no, dude.
Yeah.
One person said, I was a hairstylist for 20 years back in the day. No one has eyebrows grow that fast in 3 days, one user wrote.
Thank you.
It was on the state board test. Hair on your head grows 1/4 of an inch a month. Hair on your brows grows slower.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Every girl has waxed or plucked outside of her designated zone and has had that really awkward face for a while.
Makes sense, right? Yeah. I mean, I was a kid and I accidentally shaved my eyebrow halfway off once.
I bleached mine. They're still not the same. I assure you, they are still not the same. And it's been it's been 15 years. So
yeah, don't fuck with them.
You don't fuck with your eyebrows.
Right? So yeah, it makes sense. But I love that. It's like, hold on. I do hair. I passed the board test. Like, I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
They've accidentally clipped an eyebrow.
Of course they have.
That's what they're saying.
Right? Let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, first they point. Yeah, the backpack had Monopoly money.
Yeah. Wasn't that the one in the Central Park?
The one they found in Central Park. Yeah. So it contained Monopoly money. They also noted that in Altoona is the home of Pennsylvania Railroad, one of the railroads for sale in the game. Finally, someone highlighted that the fact that McDonald's ran a promotional campaign with the game for decades, though it was halted briefly at the beginning of the century. Because of that whole thing.
Fraud, I remember doing that. You get fries and a drink, and you go in and be like, I want him.
And then here's where I start to agree. So some conspiracy theorists are trying to claim that Mangione is a patsy or a CIA plant.
Boom.
That's where my head goes. So that's been a typical suggestion in the wake of any high-profile shooting. Obviously, that makes sense. You think about Kennedy, right?
Yeah.
One claim is that the former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was somehow involved because her brother, a former mayor of Baltimore, once mentioned Mangione's grandfather, a well-known businessman, in an interview in the Baltimore Sun. Beyond comments like suspicious or well, though, there appears to be little interest in this one, even among the conspiratorial-minded.
Yeah, that one just feels kind of like a flop.
I agree.
That's a pancake you just dropped on the ground and the dog's eating it.
Right. Oh, and then someone saying like the drones in New Jersey were trying to distract us from the United Healthcare uprising.
Facts.
They released the drones to calm us down.
The muskrat did it.
Oh my God, the muskrat did it. That's good.
Thank you. It
fits.
fits.
But that fits. That fucking fits, right? Oh, it's horrifying. But, I'm just thankful that we have the tendency to see through the bullshit.
Yeah.
Versus the tendency to buy up the bullshit.
Like,
it's crazy.
Just stop and think things through. And think, could this affect me? Does this affect me? Has it affected you in the past? I mean, people have lost their fucking homes because they have gone into debt over their medical things, and they have had health insurance.
One thing is that they're considering, I heard this on NPR, which now I don't know what I think about NPR anymore.
I know, I'm disappointed.
I'm disappointed. NPR. Saw your shenanigans. It's bullshit. But yeah, so what was I going to say?
The thing that you saw on NPR.
Oh, I heard.
You heard.
Oh yeah, right. About healthcare. So they're going to start. They're talking about not counting your health care debt, like your medical debt, towards your credit.
Right. Yeah.
Because so many people have it.
Yeah. And you can't get a loan.
Maybe this is a solution. Maybe this is part of the, hey guys, like calm down. Like we'll make sure it doesn't count against your credit kind of thing.
Which it shouldn't.
So what that tells me is go out and get all your medical shit done because they're not going to count it against your credit. You rack that debt up. Fuck them.
And go,
7 years, guys. Statute of limitations. That shit will fall off.
I saw someone on TikTok talk about how to get around it when it goes to collections.
Yeah, there's some
Did
good
you see
ones.
that?
I've seen a couple things talking about collections.
Yeah. Don't pay your medical bills. This is how you get free health care. I'm not condoning it. I'm just telling you what the person said. Is after you have your treatment or whatever you need done and you don't pay it and it goes to collections and they call you and you go, what's it for? Please send me, email me something.
Oh, I did see this one because it's about the HIPAA.
Yeah, HIPAA violation. So once they sold your information and what it was, they violated HIPAA, and you can now say, this is why I won't pay it.
That is good.
I love that.
I'm pretty sure I liked that one. Yeah. Because that's genius.
It's so good.
It's like, really though, like, you guys, you can't be sharing this type of information.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, unless if that company is not HIPAA certified themselves or the employees working with that information.
Right.
But I don't know if that's just one layer of protection. I don't know if it actually really does protect them.
I question it. I don't know if it's something that I would be willing to. I don't want to fuck around and find out.
Right? Because like when...
And then you get blacklisted for any medical needs.
I was working for a call center years ago, and one part of the floor started selling insurance, and it was medical insurance, right? Mm-hmm. So because of that, every employee had to get HIPAA certified or whatever.
Right.
So I had to go do the test myself. But I remember thinking, like, what is this really protecting? Like, I don't even work over in that area. I'm not even going to look at any of that stuff. But it comes down to, like, if employees are talking about it, like, then it's okay because now we're all HIPAA.
Yeah.
So it's like, the fuck does that even mean, right?
That's weird.
So now you can just openly talk about shit. Like, I
no,
feel like
that's not how that works.
That's not how that works,
That's not
right?
how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's like, well, we're all HR, so we can all talk about it.
Right. It's like, yeah, but is it appropriate still to talk about it? Like,
yeah.
Would you want about it?
If this was reversed, would you want people talking about you? But they're HIPAA, so it's okay.
Yeah, the whole thing is just, again.
Yeah.
But hey, that's a good tip, guys. Take that one to the bank, right? Let's see if there's anything else we can talk about in regards to this that we haven't already, because I feel like we've covered a ton.
I feel like we've done a lot.
Yeah, I mean, all I can say is that when I grew up playing Mario Kart, I always chose Luigi, or I chose Yoshi.
I do love a Yoshi. Do you think he has a Yoshi?
I hope so.
I hope not, because now they're all alone.
Reason, I never wanted to choose Mario because Mario was the obvious hero. I always chose the underdog.
Yeah.
And I always had a thing of just like, I got to make sure Luigi gets his time in
the sun. Gets his day, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? And it's just funny because that's all I think about. I keep thinking about Super Mario Kart with this guy. You know?
Understandable.
It's insane. But yeah, again, I mean... We'll find out more when the actual trial happens.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely do an update. And then, I guess on the next one we'll talk about, like, there's a bunch of weird shit that's been going on in general, so we'll touch on that.
We'll probably do a little hodgepodgey episode again.
Yeah, and then we'll definitely make time for the Chimp Crazy. Because you guys, if you haven't seen it yet, what is it on Max?
It's on Max.
Go check it. Go check it out.
I still like calling it the Hobos.
What?
It's the Hobo.
Oh, HBO. Yeah, the Hobo.
The Hobo.
But if you enjoyed Tiger King, it's worse.
And I couldn't get through Tiger King, but this I was sucked in so hard.
Like it's good in the sense of like it's whatever, dude. It's scary. Like, chimpanzees are gnarly
They're fucking
creatures.
Scary, dude.
They're gnarly creatures.
Yeah.
And the people there is a wild amount of people that want them, and they want them, and they treat them like their children.
Yeah.
Even more so than their own kids. It's like, it's weird.
It's sad.
It's weird, yeah. And I feel bad for them. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, we will see you guys then. Cheers.
Have a good night.
Have a good one.